So it's just another afternoon, and I was scrolling through my social media feeds as usual. Among the usual mix of memes and status updates, I come across this shocking headline. It claimed the passing away of a popular celebrity. Now, upon receiving this type of news, what do we usually do? Most of us, we instinctively share this news within our circle, and let's say I'm no different. However, this time, I decided to dig in a little deeper and actually verify this information before hitting that share button. So I searched through news sources of high repute, and to my utter surprise, I find no mention of any celebrities passing whatsoever. It turns out that this headline was just a cleverly crafted piece of clickbait designed to attract attention and gain those forwards. If I may say so, at some point in time, we've all been victim to disinformation. And honestly, I don't think we are fully to blame. We are living in such a time where the internet is flooded with information, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to separate fact from fiction. From scrolling through social media feeds to watching news and videos online, doesn't it feel that we're constantly being bombarded with content? Unfortunately, not all of this information we're receiving is true. In fact, some of this is specifically fabricated to mislead and misinform us. Let me bring your attention to one such epic case of disinformation which gripped our social media recently. Yes, I'm referring to the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Maryland in the US. Although all evidence pointed towards an obvious accident, the people on the internet, as we know it, love conspiracies. So they did not spare this case either, with some conspiracies being as bizarre as stating the involvement of cyber criminals who supposedly made the ship deliberately steer towards Brit support. This is what we call disinformation. Sometimes I wonder why. Why is disinformation spread? Is it for financial gains? Is it just other people propagating their own beliefs? Or is it just people trying to discredit other facts? The question still remains. But by far, what surprises me the most is the sheer speed to which disinformation travels on social media. One post is all it takes, and boom, before you know it, it's getting shares, retweets, and forwards for stating something that is not even factually correct. Why? Why does it happen so fast? Well, because it is human tendency to interact and share. And these posts, they give us a hot topic to talk about. So let us understand a little more on the mindful aspect of understanding media. We need to understand that the media we consume online is like food for our brains. Feed it with useless and factually incorrect information, and that's what it will produce. Okay, that was harsh. Let's take a step back. What is mindful media consumption? Well, in a nutshell, it is being aware of what we're consuming online and not getting consumed by everything that we see or hear. Just because something is trending or someone has a multitude of followers doesn't mean they're a credible source of information. Instead of passively absorbing content, we should be selective. So, how do we actually be mindful about the content we consume? It's simple actually. We have to follow the most simple yet most effective method: moderate our intake. Now, I know before I start off with that cliche and perfect advice talk, I have a confession to make. I'm an avid user of YouTube. And by avid, I mean it's my home within my home. The very moment I open my web browser, Y, O, and U are the very first letters I type. And the computer, knowing that that is where I spend most of my time, it completes the rest. And it's not even the long form videos that even my parents watch to catch up with the latest news or just watch some informative videos. Is the ubiquitous shorts. Our voracious appetite keeps asking for more. And, well, they're never enough. It's like you're stuck in an endless loop when you start watching them. And you can never get enough of it. I have fallen prey to this, and hours, they just fly by. And I, being the way I am, I'm still stuck on that website. So that is something we all should avoid. We should understand when media consumption becomes stressful and overwhelming to us. Break the spell, step away from screens, go for a walk, and engage in activities that promote relaxation and rejuvenation. Now, let us come to how do we actually differentiate between false and misleading information and information that is truly beneficial to us citizens of the world. Now, this is where media literacy steps in. Imagine media literacy as an armor. It equips us with the knowledge and skill set. It enables us to differentiate between beneficial information and misleading information. We need to understand the three aspects of media literacy: media format, analyzing sources, and verification. Allow me to elaborate on media format. So, in media format, this is basically understanding that media on the internet can exist in various forms, from advertisements to photos, videos, and even games. We need to understand that each format has its own biases and that not 100% of the information they are trying to convey is true. For example, recently in my social science class, I was learning about the Second World War. And this cutscene from a video game I play, which is also based on the Second World War, popped in my head. And I just fathomed at how unimaginably inaccurate it was. It pains me to say that we humans, we can sacrifice almost anything for the sake of historical accuracy, for the sake of entertainment. In this case, it was historical accuracy. Now we come on to the next part, analyzing sources. This is perhaps the most integral part of media literacy. We need to assimilate whether the source of information is a news agency of high repute or just a random blogger sending across his own point of view. Is it someone sending across their biased thoughts that are aimed at changing the reader's perspective? That is a question which we, on scrutiny, can very well answer. Now, coming on to almost the most crucial aspect of media literacy, verification. If I, a teenager, can verify my information before putting it for school content, for school stuff, can people not verify the content before making it public? Especially if they know that hundreds of people are going to be referring to their information almost on a daily basis. We need to check we need to check information from credible news sources, look for corroborating evidence from multiple outlets, and most importantly, be wary of information that seems too good or even bad to be true. In closing, I would like to leave you a quote from Marshall McLuhan. The medium is the message. In this age of disinformation and evolving identities, let us understand that the way we consume media not only shapes our understanding of the world, but also a sense of self. By approaching media with mindfulness and critical thinking, we can not only stop ourselves from falling prey to misinformation, but also help our society and contribute to creating a more honest environment. Our minds, our families, and our society will thank us for the steps we take now. Thank you.